Guys, here we are talking a little bit more about photosynthesis. I'm going to finish up the Calvin cycle and then start talking a little bit about some other differences, photorespiration, what's happening with plants. And so here we have our chloroplast, so just a reminder of all the different parts that are in here. We have the inner membrane, which really should point right there. We have the outer membrane. We have the stroma, so this is where the Calvin cycle is occurring. So this is a lot like the matrix of mitochondria, that kind of jelly stuff inside. The thylakoid, so each one of these. And the granum is a stack of thylakoids. And so the light dependent happened in the membrane, the thylakoids, and now it's moving out to the stroma. So here's what's happening in the Calvin cycle. You guys will not need to know all of this of what's happening. But what I want you guys to notice is what's going in, what's going out. And so we have some carbon dioxide going in, some water going in, and it's going throughout, producing different carbon. We have some ADP being generated into ADP and ADPH, and getting oxidized into NADP plus, because, and there's some more over here, and the biggest thing is we're making the glucose and other sugars. So another part that we need to talk about is photorespiration, and this is what's occurring on these hot, dry, bright days. So plants need water, the sun, all this in order to go through photosynthesis. What happens on these really hot, dry days? So the stomates, which are the holes that are letting everything in, they're going to close up because otherwise the plant dries out. They're going to fix oxygen instead of CO2, and it's not going to produce any sugar or ATP. And so basically they're going to produce stuff in order to stay alive. So because of this, there's certain plants that live in the desert with all these hot, dry things that they need some special adaptations to limit the effect on a photorespiration. You can't be closed. They need to be able to produce ATP and glucose in order to survive. So there's two different types of plants. One's called C4 plants. The other are called CAM plants. And we're mostly going to just talk about the CAM plants. They live in hot, dry environments. So think cactus. So this is like 5% of plants, but they're kind of interesting to talk about. So yes, the stomates are closed during the day, but what's really cool is they actually open at night. So there's no sun coming in. How does this work? The light reaction occurs during the day. Makes sense when it has light. The Calvin cycle only occurs when there is carbon dioxide present. So forgot to say that this is, you are on question, this whole slide gives you questions 58 through 63. And so this is just showing you guys the differences between the C3, which is a normal plant, and a C4, which is like the CAM plants, of the ones in hot, dry. So you have these bundle sheaths, which are given the water and everything. You need a lot more. And you can see the soma going in. All right. So why do they close them during the day? Makes sense, to conserve water. And so that is your last question. We will fill in the diagram during class.